If you're in the mood for real food, it's Concord Food Co-op.
It's got to be Friday. What's happening? It is Nazzy from the Pulse of New Hampshire. Welcome to the Concord Co-op Community Connections. My partner in crime, as always, from the Concord Food Co-op, Miss Kim Brandis. How are you today, Kim?
I'm good. How are you, Nazzy?
Are you enjoying the heat, Kim?
I would be if it wasn't raining out.
Yeah, well, it goes off and on. I know, but it's summer. It's August. What do you expect? We've got somebody really familiar with us today. Why don't you introduce our guest?
Sure. We have Dr. Sam Sanzone. He considers himself extremely blessed to be able to assist people with their wellness goals through chiropractic after 25 years. And he says one of the greatest rewards is having the opportunity to teach folks how their body works and how to listen to and properly interpret the signals that show up in the way of symptoms. And you can visit him online at mycommunitychiro.com to learn more.
Welcome, Dr. Sam.
It's great to be back. Thanks for having me.
So I've got to tell you, as somebody who's been to a chiropractor for years, that opening statement is so true because your body really does tell you, you know what I mean? Especially my body. I know if I haven't been for a few weeks, my body says, you need an adjustment. What's going on? It's so true. You know?
And you learn how to listen to that and respect what that message is.
Yeah.
And act appropriately.
You do. I think a lot of people, they need to learn how to kind of stop for a moment and say, wait a minute. Instead of taking a pill for that, or instead of taking, a quick Band-Aid, how about we get it fixed,
Yeah, exactly.
Yep. That's
exactly. And there's wisdom in that. And it's like old wisdom that we're learning something now for the first time. And it's a very beneficial lesson.
It so is. All right. So today we're talking about spending time in nature. And last week, my family and I, we got a chance to go up north. We spent some time in Bartlett and North Conway. And it was so important to just go for a walk in the woods. We left all the technology in the car. We left, the iPhones. We left the iPads. I mean, we did take a camera. But it's so important to just connect back with nature. Tell us why that's so important, Dr. Sam.
Well, when we spend some time in nature, we get to recognize truly that it's not something that's separate of us that we're spending time in, but our role in that and our part in that. And it just expands our whole awareness of our being. And it has a way with the green of nature, for instance, just to calm us down. If we pay attention to where we are, we'll stop thinking about the past or the future and just become present. And that's one of the greatest gifts of meditation in a deeper sense. But just when we're out there, we have to pay attention to our surroundings.
Yeah, it's so true. And you know what? The other thing is, too, we live so close to all of this. I mean, you don't have to travel up north to North Conway. I mean, there are beautiful hiking trails in Concord and Boscawen and Pennacook. I mean, there's a gorgeous trail right behind Concord Hospital. I don't know if you guys have ever discovered those trails there.
Yeah,
yes, I have.
Yeah,
I have. It's very nice network right there, and it's right in the cities, right within our city.
Yeah, it's really cool. Go ahead, Kim. I know you had a question.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, I know there's something about just being out in nature.
Yeah,
it's just so peaceful, so relaxing, and it sort of helps your whole body just reset.
Yeah.
I had an interesting experience recently. Over the past couple of weeks, I've been doing some shopping on Main Street, and I'm fortunate to find a parking spot. And I'm walking down the street, and they have the new trees that are planted. And I hear this bird just singing wildly. And then I'm walking down the street a couple days later, and I hear this bird singing wildly. And I'm doing errands during my lunch break, but I'm wondering, I want to sit there sometime right on Main Street and pay attention to see if it's the same bird or bird family, and see what is it trying to tell us here while we're doing our errands day to day, watching us all hustle and bustle about. So we could even connect with nature 2 minutes outside of our car.
Yeah, in the city, in the heart of the city. I think the bird's trying to tell you to slow down, listen to the beautiful music that's right here. You don't need to put the headphones in. You need to listen to the songs that the birds are singing,
That's right. And recently too, I can share this. I've had a deepening of my experience and appreciation with nature because my walking companion, my dog, has gotten old. And over the course of the past year, she's gone blind and she can't see. but we still go for our walks, and we'll still go to our typical sitting places. And I just look at her, and she's, got her nose up to the air, and she's, hey, where's the wind coming from? What can I smell? What can I hear? And if I spend time there with my eyes closed, or even started bringing a blindfold while we're sitting, and it's a whole different experience. And I have to really broaden my senses and my appreciation for, my connection to the world. It's been a good experience. I think it's been a healthcare experience for me personally. And I like to be able to share that with people.
That's really cool. That's really cool.
Yeah. Well, I know a well-known benefit of going outside is, of course, getting sun, getting vitamin D. And I definitely notice a difference if I've been outside in the sun getting fresh air versus if I'm stuck inside and it's rainy all day.
Definitely. And, we know the benefits of breathing. We have to breathe. And as a society, our breath has become something that we don't even think about. It's kind of unconscious and becomes rather shallow.
Right.
One of my biggest concerns when we had to wear masks during the pandemic was it's even impeding our breath more so. But I have this practice where every morning when I take the dog out for her business, I'll just stop and breathe deeply the air that's out there. And there are so many different qualities of that air, particularly now with the humidity that we have.
Yeah.
It's tough. It's tougher. It's not as enjoyable as, say, the dry or the winter air. But taking advantage and having that consciousness of, okay, I got to get out and breathe, but I got to breathe consciously and deeply and fill my lungs and expand my chest and let that oxygen go through all of my arteries and veins and capillaries. Healthcare. That's health for our body.
That really is. It's funny too. It's the same way for my wife and myself when we go to the ocean, when we go to the beach. That ocean air, that's the first thing we do. We park, we get to the edge, we get to the wall, and we just go, and we just let that ocean air, that beautiful smell. And we sometimes we go to the ocean in the winter because we need that recharge. We need that scent in our lungs. And it just,
that's right.
Oh, it feels so good. That's the air.
Yeah. There's qualities there that and when we're conscious of it, we could bring it right into our body. And that can be a good thing.
Yeah, it really is. One thing that we did last week when we did do some hiking, and tell me if it's weird. I hope it's not. When I was on one of the trails in Bartlett, we were right on the Saco. I walked barefoot on the trails, and they were, they were fine. And I almost felt like I was a little bit closer to Earth. Does that make any sense? Is that weird?
Nazzy, I got to tell you something.
Yeah.
You were a little bit closer to the Earth.
Yeah.
Because there was nothing in between. And that's another part of practice that, people tend to forget. And I take pains to walk barefoot outdoors on a regular basis. Of course, you got to take more precaution. You don't want to step on a rock or a twig, but when there's well-groomed trails or your well-raked lawn, not only are we more connected and in contact with the earth, but there's something that's going on neurologically and muscularly in the pathways to our brain where our body has to adapt to something that's more than just a flat concrete or linoleum surface. And we're getting proprioceptive pathways that are building, and it's very dynamic neurologically. And there's even research that's being done right now that says people who take some time to walk barefoot or walk on uneven surfaces with shoes on, that's going to be very beneficial in terms of preventing them from falling in the future in their senior years, because their body can adapt to the environment in more ways than just plain or flat surfaces.
Yeah, so you're saying so you didn't answer the question. Are you saying I'm weird or I'm not weird, Dr.
Oh, you're not weird at all. You're definitely closer to the earth when you're doing that, and that's a good thing, not a weird thing.
It felt great, and then we'd get to the Saco, and I could feel the rocks under my feet, and then I could feel the water. There was just something healing and soothing about it, you know, and I loved it. I had a great time.
Well, that's the way we first came onto the planet. You know, when we think of ancestors way back when, or even the native people of this land, they got around the land and they were connected to it, and they could even feel and we could talk to them that way.
Yeah, that's true. Excellent. Well, Dr. Sam, before we let you go, please give out your website and how we can get in touch with you at your practice.
Yeah, my office website is mycommunitychiro, CHIRO.com. And we just recently updated that website, and there's some good information there regarding benefits of nature and health benefits and answering a lot of questions and such. It gives people a way to contact me if they have questions directly also.
All right, what other things were they asking? I mean, this actually could lead into another nice discussion. What things were they asking?
Were who asking?
About benefits of nature on the website, because it's like I said, you know, some of these questions could be helping somebody else. You know what I'm saying? So,
oh, absolutely. Well, a lot of the stuff that we talked on today, being able to feel that the differences in the temperature, for one thing, being able to, you know, the differences in the scents. Just pay attention to the scents or the smells. Yeah. Where is that breeze coming from? Is there a breeze? Where is it coming from? What is that telling me about the weather patterns that are happening around us?
Yeah.
And knowing how our body responds to that as well.
Excellent. Dr. Sam, thank you very much. Thank you for answering all of our questions.
It's always great to be here. Thank you.
All right. Take care. All right, Kim, I think it's time to bring in our next guest.
Yes.
Miss Sara Woods Kender. How are you today, Sara?
I'm great. How are you guys?
Good.
We're excellent. All right, let's give her a little intro, Kim.
Okay. Sure. So we have Sara Woods Kender. She's a clinical herbalist and Reiki master with over 10 years of experience as an herbal practitioner. She owns Sacred Tree Herbals in Meredith, New Hampshire, and offers classes on beginning and advanced herbalism, consults, custom formulations, and shamanic Reiki sessions. And you can visit her online at www.sarasherbs.com.
Excellent. Sara, how are things going in beautiful Meredith this afternoon?
Oh, well, I can't complain about the weather. Everything's great, you know, moving right along. Nice Friday. Ready for the weekend. I get to teach this weekend.
Oh, you did? Excellent. Excellent. All right, so today we're talking about your whole body and how wild plants can support your whole body. So what do we have? What does Sara have up her sleeve?
Well, for one thing, I had to pick 8, which is almost impossible, but I did it. And I tried to pick the plants that would grow around anyone, you know, anyone's yard, anyone's garden, you know, volunteering, the forest as well. So the 8 that I chose, and I'm going to rattle them off, not that we have to, you know, talk about each and every one. We probably won't have time. But so the 8 that I chose were burdock, dandelion, plantain, elderberry, white willow, skullcap, Japanese knotweed, and chaga mushroom, which is the plant, it's a mushroom, but that's okay.
All right, I want to talk about the elderberry, because I have heard that elderberry is the most overlooked, you know, natural wild plant that has so many uses, and nobody really knows about it. And we have them here in New Hampshire, don't we?
Oh, a lot. Yeah. They like to get their feet a little wet, so they'll be near streams, swamps. They like it sunny, so you know, they won't be in the woods. They'll be near swamps and streams. Tons of them on the sides of the roads. I don't suggest people harvest from the sides of the roads because they apply pesticides and stuff to those.
Yeah.
But I use the elderflower and the berry. So the elderflower is really indicated for fevers, and it has some antiviral qualities. The berries are high in antioxidants. They're also considered antiviral. Many people use them for cold and flu seasons, specifically for the flu virus. You know, a lot of people just use that as a prevention and a treatment for the flu.
Yeah, we sell a lot of elderberry syrups at the co-op, and those are really popular.
And I bought one last year, or maybe the year before. I had a nasty cold. Nothing was working. somebody mentioned elderberry, and the co-op was the only place that had it, and it worked. It was really good. Yeah.
I have it too, so it's not the only place.
The only place in Concord. The only
Very
place
good.
in Concord. There you go.
Very good. Yeah, and I also add, for my elderberry syrup, I add a little cinnamon and star anise in there. Both cinnamon's, a little bit drying, so it'll help, clean up some mucus going on. But the star anise is also very antiviral too. So I tend to, when I blend for different maladies, I like to use different herbs that can kind of attack it at a different angle, and that's why I use the star anise.
Oh, that's really cool. That was good.
Yeah.
I'm glad that you guys had it, Kim. Thank you. And now I know to go to Meredith. I know.
You can go anywhere. It doesn't matter.
No, that's so true. Go ahead, Kim. I know you had a question for Sarah.
Yeah. So what's the best way to consume these plants? Is there like dried versus fresh? Is there a certain way that works better?
Well, if it's food, fresh is good. Most of these I wouldn't use as food. I have, the dandelion leaf I do. But I like to dry them, and then it preserves them. And then you can decide if you want to do an extract or a tea. Or you can also powder them and do encapsulations. So dried is typically how I would process them, and then I can decide what I want to do with them.
Okay.
Dandelion salad is delicious. I mean, you can put it basically in it. I'll never forget, my aunt didn't tell me what it was. She said, "Here, eat this salad." And I was like, "Well, but you got to tell me." She goes, "No, do you trust me?" I said, "No." But I ate it anyway, and it was good. She goes, "Did you like that?" And I'm like, "Yeah." She goes, "You just ate dandelions."
They're wonderful. And
they're good.
They're great. When they first come out in the spring before they flower, they really are the tastiest.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they start to build up that latex in them as they age. They get the latex, and that can be quite bitter. Although I like that too. Everybody needs a little bitter in their life to move your liver, because that's really important. But dandelion is wonderful spring.
They were sweet. It was early. I believe it was early spring. And we put a little bit of oil and vinegar on top, and
boom.
Delish.
Nice.
Delish.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was delicious. Kim, I think we have time for one more question. For
Sarah. Okay, Sarah, if you had to pick one wild plant that you use the most, what would it be? I know that's probably hard for you to answer.
Sarah's shaking her head. She's like, "Why would you ask me that?"
One wild plant?
Yeah, your favorite one that you probably use the most.
That's like picking your favorite child. I mean, how can you do that?
I don't do that. Well, of the list, I probably would have to say it's not a plant, it's a mushroom. I'd have to say chaga. Honestly, because it really kind of supports all organ systems and the immune system at the same time, and it knocks out a cold. It's a wonderful all over body tonic. It's not a plant. So, okay, all right. So if I had to pick a plant, I guess burdock root. No. Yeah.
See what you did, Kim. You broke Sarah. You broke her.
You broke me.
Oh my goodness. All right, Sarah, in the final minute, please tell us a little bit about your place in Meredith and how we can get in touch with you.
All right. Well, my place in Meredith is at 169 DW Highway. It's the Fitness Edge building near the traffic circle. I offer custom formulations. I make all sorts of remedies, syrups, salves. I have even some magical items. I do shamanic Reiki sessions. I also offer Thai yoga massage, therapeutic massage, neurofeedback, and I have a geotonic acupuncture, which is kind of like an energetic acupuncture now. So I have 4 other practitioners with me. I do awesome, any kind of medicinal tea. I also have Chinese teas, flavored teas. I do an apprenticeship every year and other online classes. So check out my class and workshop section on my website, because if you want to learn a little bit about herbs, come on and see me.
Right there, sarahsherbs.com. You can check it out. All right. And the final 30 seconds, Kim, they belong to you and the co-op.
Sure. So starting Monday, August 23rd, co-op members can vote in our board of directors election. We have 3 seats to fill. 4 candidates are running. You can vote in store, or you can go onto our website, concordfoodcoop.coop/ballot, to place your votes. We also have lots of organic produce arriving every week, locally grown, tomatoes, peppers, kale, and carrots, and lots of other stuff.
Yep. and give out your website as well, Kim.
Yep, www.concordfoodcoop.coop.
Excellent. We want to thank Dr. Sam. Sara, I want to thank you as well for joining us. And Kim, we'll be back next week. Concord Co-op Community Connections on the Pulse of New Hampshire.
Nice to see you all.
If you're in the mood for real food, it's Concord Food Co-op.